got it? At this time, I will call the meeting of Franklin Township, special meeting of the Franklin Township Board of Trustees to order on July 3rd, 2024 at 1:31 p.m. I would like to ask Trustee Fleshman if he would open us with prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. As we come upon the holiday season, may your blessing be upon everyone. We seem to always have people that are killed on the roadways, and Lord, it's always everyone rush everywhere. We ask that you be with our meeting, be with us this day, for it's in your name. Amen.
Mr. Blevins, would you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Major, give us a roll call, please, whenever you're ready.
Mr. Blevins?
Here.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Beecher.
And we are here at this meeting, special meeting for the resolution and clarification of the fire levy. So, Mr. Major, can you read that, please?
I will. It's resolution 2024-090. It's a resolution declaring the necessity for levying a tax exceeding the 10 mil limitation and requesting the county auditor to provide certain information pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code section 5705.03B. And I apologize, this is a lengthy resolution that has to be read. Whereas the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, provides fire service through Franklin Township Fire Department, which services the unincorporated and incorporated portions of Franklin Township. Whereas the board is the taxing authority for the township, and the board believes it is in the best interest of township residents to levy an additional tax for the provisions of fire services to the township residents. The submission of such tax is authorized by the ORC section 5705.19I, and the board finds that the amount of taxes which may be raised within the 10 mil limitation by levies on the current tax duplicate will be insufficient to provide an adequate amount for the necessary requirements of Franklin Township and its fire department, and that it is necessary to levy a tax in excess of that limitation for the purpose of providing and maintaining fire apparatus, mechanical resuscitators, underwater rescue and recovery, and other fire equipment, appliances, buildings, and sites therefore, or sources of water supply and materials therefore, for the establishment and maintenance of lines of fire alarm communications, for the payment of firefighting companies or permanent, part-time, or volunteer firefighting, emergency medical services, administrative or communication personnel to operate the same, including the payment of any employer contributions required for such personnel under section 145.48 or 742.34 of the revised code, for the purchase of ambulance equipment, for the provision of ambulance, paramedic, or other medical services operated by a fire department or fire company, or for the payment of other related costs, and in accordance with section 5705.03B of the ORC, in order to submit the question of a tax levy outside the 10 mil limitation pursuant to section 5705.19I of the Ohio Revised Code. This board must certify to the Franklin County Auditor a resolution requesting that the county auditor certify, one, the total current tax valuation of Franklin Township, both incorporated and unincorporated areas, and two, the dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by the proposed levy. And in accordance with section 5705.03B of the ORC, in order to submit the question of a tax levy outside the 10 mil limitation pursuant to section 5705.19I of the ORC, this board must certify to the Franklin County Auditor a resolution requesting that the county auditor certify as applicable to this levy. The total current valuation of the entire territory of Franklin Township, both incorporated and unincorporated. The number of mills for each $1 of taxable value that is required to generate a specified amount of revenue. In the case of an additional levy, the levy's rates calculated using the rate described in RC 5705.03B, 2, and D, expressed in dollars, rounded to the nearest dollar for each $100,000 of the county auditor's appraised value. 3, the dollar amount of revenue rounded to the nearest dollar that would be generated by a specified number of mills for each $1 of taxable value. And 4, for any levy or portion of a levy except the levy or portion of a levy to pay debt charges. An estimate of the levy's annual collections rounded to the nearest $1,000, which would be calculated assuming the amount of the tax list of the taxing authority remains throughout the life of the levy, the same as the amount of the tax list for the current year. And if this is not determined, the estimated amount submitted by the auditor to the county budget commission. And whereas in accordance with section 5705.03B of the ORC, upon receipt of a certified copy of a resolution of this board declaring the necessity of the tax, stating the proposed rate of the tax expressed in mills for each $1 of taxable value, with a dollar amount of revenue to be generated by the proposed tax, stating its purpose, whether it is an additional levy, a renewal or replacement of an existing tax, a renewal or replacement of an extension of an existing tax to additional territory, the section of the Ohio Revised Code authorizing its submission to the electors, stating terms of years of the tax, or if the tax is for a continued period of time, and the tax is to be levied upon the entire territory of the subdivision, or if authorized by the revised code, the description of a portion of the territory of the subdivision in which the tax is to be levied, the date of the election at which the question of the tax shall appear on the ballot measure shall be submitted to the entire territory of the subdivision, or if authorized by the revised code, a description of the portion of the territory of the subdivision to which the ballot measure shall be submitted, the tax year in which the tax will first be levied, and the calendar year in which the tax will first be collected, and each such county in which the subdivision has territory, and requesting such certification, the county auditors to certify the information in accordance with revised code, section 5705.03B, 2, and A through E as applicable. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, 2/3 of all members elected thereto concurring that 1, section 1, the board finds that the amount of taxes which may be raised within the 10 mil limitation by levies on the current tax duplicate will be insufficient to provide an adequate amount for the necessary requirements of Franklin Township and its fire department. Section 2, the board determines that it is necessary to levy a tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation for the benefit of Franklin Township, both incorporated and unincorporated areas, for the purpose of providing and maintaining fire apparatus, mechanical resuscitators, underwater rescue and recovery equipment, and other fire equipment and appliances, building and sites thereof, or sources of water supply materials therefore, for the establishment and maintenance of lines of fire alarm communications for the payment of firefighting companies or permanent, part-time, or volunteer firefighting, emergency medical service, administrative or communication personnel, to operate the same, including the payment of any employer contributions required for such personnel under section 145.48 or 742.34 of the revised code, for the purchase of ambulance equipment, for the provision of ambulance, paramedic, or other emergency medical services operated by a fire department or firefighting company, or for the payment of other related costs pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code, section 5705.19I, the sections of the revised code authorizing submission of the question of the submission of the questions of these sections 5705.03, 5705.19I, 5705.191, and 5705.25. Section 3, the Franklin County Auditor is hereby requested, pursuant to section 5705.03B and 2 of the Ohio Revised Code, to certify to the Franklin Township Board of Trustees the following. 1, the total current tax valuation of the entire territory of Franklin Township, again, both incorporated and unincorporated areas, Franklin County, Ohio. The levies rate calculated using the rate described in the revised code, section 5705.03B, 2, and D, expressed in dollars, rounded to the nearest dollar for each $100,000 of the county auditor's appraised value. The dollar amount of revenue rounded to the nearest dollar that would be generated by the following specified numbers of mills for each $1 of taxable value. An additional 14.66 mill levy for a continuing period of time, which is permanent. And lastly, an estimate of the levy's annual collections rounded to the nearest $100,000, which would be calculated assuming that the amount of tax list of the taxing authority remains throughout the life of the levy, the same as the amount of the tax list for the current year. And if this is not determined, the estimated amount submitted by the auditor to the County Budget Commission. Section 4, the above referenced proposed levy would be a new and additional township-wide levy, both incorporated and unincorporated, for a continuing period of time to be placed on the ballot of the general election to be held November 5th, 2024, and submitted to the entire territory, both incorporated and unincorporated areas of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio. The proposed levy shall be placed upon the tax list and duplicate of 2024 for collection in 2025 if a majority of the electors voting thereon vote in favor thereof. Section 5, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio only has territory in Franklin County, Ohio. Section 6, the fiscal officer of this Board of Trustees be and is hereby directed to certify a copy of this resolution to the County Auditor and the Board of Elections of Franklin County, Ohio. Section 7, it is found and determined that all formal actions of this Board of Trustees concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this Board of Trustees, and that all deliberations of this Board of Trustees and any of its committees that resulted in those formal actions were in open meetings to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and take effect and be enforced from and after the earliest time provided by law.
I'll so move that the resolution is written. I would ask for a second.
I'll second.
Are there any questions from the board? Hearing none, I would ask for a roll call.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes?
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Leeser?
Yes. And that was all we had on the docket, correct?
That's everything, gentlemen, that you have on the docket.
Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.